You have 3 guesses, and if you don't get it in the third, that's it.
Gordon Ramsay. Not Gordon Ramsay?
Good idea.
Okay. All right, one more guess. Can I have one more guess?
One more.
Nigella Lawson.
She'd be a hot Bill Sykes.
Out of left field there. Just a different thing. A lesbian Bill Sykes. Bill Dykes. Come on. Whole new audience. Bull Dykes.
Bull Dykes.
OK, now, let's move on from Nancy briefly. We might come back to it. 2 things I want to discuss briefly. First of all, congratulations to Lord Andrew Lloyd Webber. You wouldn't think it to look at him, but he turned 60 recently, ladies and gentlemen.
Yep.
Happy birthday and congratulations. Now, did you celebrate your birthday? Did you make a big deal? Did you have a big party, or did you let it go fairly quietly?
I didn't have a big party. I had a huge one when I was 50, and I thought, I'm not going to do it again.
Just a small party, just close, intimate friends and working colleagues, no doubt, who you
I wasn't invited.
What? How does that happen?
It really was friends and family, just very, very
hold
close.
on, you didn't invite him? Friends and family?
He wasn't available.
He wasn't available. Did you buy the Lord anything? What did you buy the man who has everything? Did you buy something?
I didn't.
You didn't buy him anything?
No. There he goes.
Why did you not buy him something?
Because he didn't buy me one for my 40th.
I didn't know you were 40, dear.
That's all right. I'm 41, actually.
No one will believe you were a year under 45. Now, you could have... John,
what?
Why did you not give Lord Andrew Lloyd Webber a copy of your autobiography for his birthday? Anything Goes, a fabulous read, packed full of, let's face it, hijinks.
I can give him belated. I can... He probably... You know, listen, he's a busy man. He probably wouldn't have the time to read it.
He's in the book as well.
On the train?
Actually, he is in the book.
Yeah, I know, because he told you off for playing the piano in an unusual way.
No, I don't
Tell us
think
this story. What were you doing on stage that caused Andrew Lloyd Webber, let's face it, one of the most easygoing men. I mean, obviously, he cares about his shows, but he's you know, we know you're relaxed, you're easygoing, and you had to tell this young whippersnapper off. What was he doing?
Well, it was a letter that I got from the Really Useful group that was signed by Andrew. Now, I don't know if he, did you excuse the pun, dictated it, but there was a part in the show in Sunset Boulevard where at the back of the set there was a piano. And Joe Gillis would do his sing the whole bit with the girl down there in the front, and then he'd mosey on in the back while she had another scene with Artie and a bunch of the other guests in a big ensemble number. And I used to go back to the piano, and I used to take my willy out and start hitting the piano with it, and playing the piano. Now, I did this like every single show, because it kept the morale of the company going, and the guy playing the piano would be in hysterics, and the atmosphere of the party was...
He had to go, you've had your cock all over it, and then he has to come out and play.
Yeah.
I'll give the black notes a miss if I were you, mate.
But there was the best bit was, one day I'm coming for a matinee, you know, here I come, getting makeup on, get ready and go, and the letter's put down in front of me from the company manager, and so I pick it up and I open up, and it's from the Really Useful group, and it's Dear John. I would appreciate if you would not upstage the music or the show itself by releasing your private parts on stage, blah, 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 and letting the back of the stalls see it. All this kind of stuff. Signed, Andrew Lloyd Webber. I didn't do it from that point on.
Well, but then that's a great shame for those people who were telling their friends you want to go along.
Yeah, but you couldn't... Listen, the one thing, any prank that's pulled on stage that anybody does, and I'm not condoning it, you never do it at the expense of an audience. No one in the audience would have seen that, because that would have been awful.
You're a showman, but you're a professional.
Yes. A professional showman.
And this is a guy who is judging Nancy's.
Yeah. Yes. Oh, yes.
Now, here's the question which I have to ask you, of course, is I can't imagine our Saturday night schedules at this time of year next year without a show of this sort on. But what would you do next time? Do you know? Are you discussing possibly doing something? Are you going to skip a year? What do we have planned for the year ahead?
I'll leave this to the Lord.
Thank you.
Because what would you do next? Which other shows could you go for?
Well, listen, if they were to do another one... I still can't keep my mouth shut, can I? Go on, you go on, go on.
I have to think that I'm not a television personality. I don't do these things. I always used to be terrified about doing chat shows and things like that, and particularly with people like you. And I don't really enjoy the whole thing that much, but I love working with the kids.
Yeah.
But I've got my own new show that I'm going to do next year.
I've heard about this.
Which is the sequel to The Phantom of the Opera.
Phantom of the Opera.
Probably another one you'd really like.
Yes. No, don't start picking on me. Listen. You're not going to get the role. You're too good looking to be the Phantom.
No.
The Phantom of the Opera 2, and I know you haven't finished it yet, have you?
No, I'm halfway through it, so I might not even complete it.
Come on, it's in your blood. You must know, I'm sure, when you've nailed the big numbers.
Yes.
When you wrote the Phantom of the Opera is here, you must have thought, job done. That's the big one. That's the one they'll hum on the way out. I'll take a weekend off, right? OK, have you done that for Phantom 2 yet? Have you got the big show-stopping number nailed yet?
I've got half a dozen of them, yeah.
Wow. OK, so how many more do you have to do?
The thing is, it's the writing of the whole thing that takes the time.
OK.
It's not the numbers, it's not the songs. I find them quite easy.
Really?
But it's the writing of the whole thing that takes the time.
OK, so how close are you to finishing that?
I reckon, with a bit of luck, we might be on in London by November next year.
November
So
next year?
2009.
Now, on a totally different subject, let's have a look at something quite odd and quite unusual from John Barrowman's back catalogue. OK, Lord Webber, you might not have seen this. Because John Barrowman's a lovely fella, and as
you
know,
always
enthusiastic.
pull this shit out of the closet for me, don't you?
This is from a programme called Have I Been Here Before?
Oh,
it was a
my
series
God.
in which John Barrowman is regressed by there's a very strange woman who speaks in a very odd voice, who hypnotises people and makes them talk about people they think they were in the past. This is John Barrowman telling us what he was in a past life.
You inside or outside?
I'm inside.
And what are you inside of?
Tent.
What kind of tent?
Circus tent.
And how do you feel in the circus tent?
Happy.
Are you aware of having a physical body? What kind?
I'm a clown.
And how do you feel about being a clown?
Really good.
I'm a clown.
What's funny?
I'm looking at myself in the mirror.
And how do you look?
I look very silly.
What are you wearing?
I'm wearing a striped red and white striped kind of punch, like a parachute kind of outfit. My name's Oliver.
You're the best. Here's what the best is. You're a clown. You're in a tent in a circus. What are you wearing? What the fuck do you think I'm wearing? A clown outfit!
OK, you know, I know you came to this sort of TV performance late in your career and you weren't in telly, but you know what, I'm so thrilled you did because you're a natural and it's great to see you on that show every week because not only, obviously you know what you're talking about, but it's great fun to see you doing it as well. John, as always, you're just a waste of time. I don't know why you've got nothing to give people, nothing. Just a downbeat, miserable so-and-so.
That's all right. I'll give it to you later.
Great. Great to have you back on the show. The lovely John Barrowman, the fabulous Lord Andrew Lloyd Webber. Thank you, Johnathan. As always.
Good.
A pleasure. Thank you so much for coming again. Good work. As always, I'll see you outside. My thanks to all my guests tonight, John and Andy, obviously, as well as